Hey everyone, Brian Stiles here, Shelby Research Group. Most of you know me for chasing full-size cars, 1-to-1 scale as we like to say. Just got done dropping off a couple cars out west and made my way here to Chicago today to visit a gentleman by the name of Mark Mattei. Main purpose of today's visit was to pick up a vintage Italian slot car set that Mark has had new in the box since the late 60s. But I gotta tell you, when you see what Mark has hidden here inside his house, you're going to be as blown away as I was. It's like being a 7-year-old in a toy store all over again. Come on, join me. Let's go take a look to see what Mark has.
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we're walking up to Mark's property and gonna check it out.
Mark, you there?
Is that Brian?
Yes,
Yep,
sir.
Brian and Ryan.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Brian.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Come on,
Oh,
guys.
well, thanks for having us.
Mark Mattei.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for coming on down. Yeah.
Now, when we were talking on the phone, you said you had a couple full-size cars as well as the toys?
I've got some junk in the garage. You want to take a peek? We can just head over this way.
Junk in the garage. That's what we live for.
Yeah, it's always the junk. Wow, this paved backyard is so interesting. With all the beautiful rocks.
Done our best to kill every blade of grass we put. Okay?
I am totally there with you.
So,
Wow. This is a
Oh wow, this is unexpected.
This
Wow.
is a small garage, but there's a lot packed in here.
Cars,
Who is he for?
motorcycles, and bicycles. Probably bicycles are my biggest thing. But on cars, I've got like micro cars, if you will.
I see that.
The one that's perhaps the most interesting.
Now, it's interesting because Mark knows that I have a thing for Fords and Shelbys.
That's
a little bit.
That's true, but even that
Go ahead, Ryan.
notwithstanding, it's still the most interesting car here. This little car here has a Ford name on the front of it,
I see that.
and I had purchased it back in 2002 at an auction that Ford Motor Company had put on in Michigan, where they auctioned off 50 concept cars for charity. It was a Sotheby's auction. Now, what's interesting about this car, even though it says Ford on it, it really has nothing to do with Ford. There's a little crest right here that says Ghia, and that's actually the manufacturer of the car. And what had happened was that Ford had been, Ghia was a design studio in Italy, designing predominantly cars. And Ford had been one of their customers throughout the 1960s, and in the early 70s, Ford just went ahead and bought the entire Ghia concern in Italy.
Wow.
This, along with a couple other cars, were literally in the garage in Italy. It has a Fiat engine, not a Ford, it's a Fiat engine. It's a 2-cylinder, 500cc air-cooled engine, 4-stroke. It is a one-off car. It's not made out of plastic. The bodywork is all metal. It's a functioning car, a complete car. At this auction, the majority of the cars that were sold, these 50 concept cars, most of them weren't functional. They wouldn't have engines. The doors wouldn't open. The windshield was plastic, things like that. This is a fully formed, fully functional car.
Wow.
And it was the right size to fit in my garage, so I went ahead and got that. Yes.
That's incredible.
Now,
sir.
is this a parchment interior? Because I have a thing for parchment interiors. Looks parchment.
What's the question again?
Is it a parchment interior?
A parchment.
Looks parchment to me.
I don't know. It may be. No, it might be locked up. Let's see. It's got suicide doors,
Oh wow, yeah.
and I don't think. I think it's just synthetic. I don't think it's parchment.
Oh, parchment would be the color. Sorry.
Parchment's like a white.
Yeah, it's like an off-white. It's close enough. Let's go with it.
I'll let you name it, whatever it is. The actual car's original handle was a city car, Torino, Ghia. City car by Ghia.
Wow.
1971 prototype. But, yeah, it... Here you go. Bang.
That is incredible, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely incredible. What a time capsule. And so, I'm sorry, when was the auction again?
2002.
Oh, recently. Okay.
Yeah, a little over 20 years ago. And the
20 years ago. But
the car has about 60 kilometers on it.
okay.
So not too many miles.
But I mean, usually we deal with muscle cars. That's 50 years ago. I mean, just 20 years ago, they were selling off crazy cool prototypes and show cars like this. I never heard of that. That's so neat.
Well, actually, it was a very short notice auction. I didn't know about the auction. Gretchen's, my wife, saw it in the newspaper. It was only announced 30 days before the auction actually occurred, so it was short notice. Yeah, but as I say, Ford decided to let the stuff go, and the proceeds went to charity. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I don't think Ford was too concerned about the money.
You know, it's funny you say that. I think my friend got the Ford GT90 from the same auction, because he talked about picking it up in the early 2000s. It was a big white car. It was not the It was a prototype, like twin turbo V12.
Really?
Yeah. It was a running driving car though too. But I remember he said he picked it up, something like that. I'll put a picture in the video of the GT90 when I saw it last, but
Good.
yeah, no, that's weird and awesome, sir. So cool. And I know what this is. I've seen Top Gear.
Well, this is a British little confection here from 1960, to the best of my knowledge. It's called a scooter car,
Okay.
and this was manufactured by a gentleman that owned a factory that made either locomotives or diesels.
Oh.
The main power for trains.
Yep.
And in the late 50s, early 60s, Britain was going through a recession, depression, whatever. They were a little bit short on business or whatever. And so his staff had a little time on their hands, and his wife, the wife of the owner, came to him and said, "Listen, I need a little car to drive to the market with." So he had his crew make a little micro car and made one for the wife, and it started to catch on, and the car was produced for several years, and I'm not sure the production numbers, but 200-300 or so.
Okay.
So it just started as obliging his better half, and ended up to being an actually going business for a while. It is a fiberglass body.
Hmm.
It has one 200cc single-cylinder engine in it. It has a single-cylinder 200cc engine, is what I'm trying to say. And the motor is by a company called Villiers. Villiers supplied engines with gearboxes for less expensive motorcycles in Britain.
Okay, yeah.
And so, being a motorcycle power plant with an integrated gearbox that has 4 speeds,
Oh, wow.
it has no reverse.
That's a little bit of an issue.
But there is a feature called Dynastart, and if you wanted the car to go in reverse, you would turn the engine off, and there's a little key in the dashboard, just like a real car, but you take the key and you push it a half-inch further into the dash, turn it again, it would start a second set of points that would allow the engine to start in reverse.
Oh, wow.
So that gave you not just 4 forward speeds, but
4 backwards
reverse speeds
Yeah.
if you were so inclined.
Wow.
But yeah, 3 wheels. So it at least in Illinois, it's judged a motorcycle being 3 wheels.
Yeah, well, the reason I brought up Top Gear is they had a thing called the Peel 50, which was a very similar design to this. That's why when I walked in, I'm like, oh.
The world's
seen
smallest car, I believe.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
But it's very similar in design to what this is. It may have been remove,
Well, you could squeeze two people in here. The Peel was definitely a one-person car.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah, no, but no, you're right. Well, the Peel has quite a following, has a lot of appeal.
Check this out, Ryan. Mark, you've got like looks like almost like a cooler, like a bench type seat in here.
Well, there's a lot of junk in here, but if you look through the piles of stuff,
good.
There's this little backrest for the driver lifts out and allows the rear passenger to sit behind him, almost like a driver and a passenger on a motorcycle, like a bench seat or a front to back seat. So this moves out, the passenger gets in, this slips back in, your driver gets in, and away you go.
Gotcha. Sorry, I didn't think I'd need my flashlight for this adventure. They're in the car.
Garage finds. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm like, oh, it's lit up. It's nice. It's all good.
Yes.
That is.
Look at those handles. Look at those handlebar steering.
It's basically a bicycle handlebar, and it's basically 1-to-1 ratio of steering. It's direct steering. There's no reduction.
Wow.
So yes,
that is really interesting, sir. And so, when did you guys acquire this one?
This one probably in the mid 1990s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Any idea how this one ended up over here, or?
I never researched it,
Okay.
although certainly people were bringing in interesting cars in the 70s and 80s and 90s, collectors.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if this one was actually properly marketed in America.
Okay.
So I've always assumed it was brought over as a private purchase, on the secondhand market for someone who thought it was neat. But yeah.
And I am just noticing single left-hand door.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
One
No,
door
making note there
on the
is no door.
left-hand side.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, and that has a spare tire.
What is it, like an 11-inch tire?
It's down there. It's a little one.
Well, it would be metric, but yeah.
Yes.
That's incredible, sir.
Well, thank you.
From the website that I'm going to post in the description, they say this about the Ghia City car, that it is the only surviving example in today's world from the brief period of time when Ghia was owned by Alexandro de Tomaso prior to Ghia's acquisition by Ford. The Ghia City car was what they envisioned in the late 60s, early 70s for all these European cities that were built in the medieval time with the small city centers. So that was the intent of the city car, was to be able to navigate that area. And the good thing that happened for them is that in 1973, the gas crunch happened, and these things had such small engines that it would have been perfect just to be a basic go-around in the city.
Hey, automotive adventurers. I hope you enjoyed that video from Mark's house, or I should say his garage. How crazy is it to have Ford concept car, stashed away in his garage? And I understand that it's been out in the past. There's a little bit of information out there, but such a neat little piece of history and running and driving, which I think is just awesome. And that the fact that it came from like the Turin Auto Show and was a Ford product, really, really neat. And there's a lot more content, I should say, because the stuff he has, if you want to talk about, like, remember at the end of Raiders of Lost Ark when the Ark of the Covenant is being put into a giant warehouse full of other boxes? Wait until you see what's coming up. It's mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. And I'm glad I was able to document it, and Mark was gracious enough to allow me and Brian to check it all out. And I've become friends with Mark, which has been very fortunate, because this was back in late 2023 when I filmed it. But for the last few days, it's actually been really nice here in Chicago. Today was in the 60s, so I spent the entire last 2 days in the garage cleaning and putting stuff away and finishing projects that have been sitting for a long time. It's been absolutely amazing. As you can see, I got my banners back up. I have my workbenches. I now have both workbenches are rolling workbenches. I'll show a picture of them here in a bit. I made little adapters and put wheels on them, and they've been phenomenal. I'm working on the green car, which is really good. Tomorrow, I actually aired up the tire.
I'm going to do the brakes. I'll have them gravity bled. So yeah, it's been a very good few days. And this coming week, it's even going to be better because I'm leaving for Detroit on Wednesday if I get the blue car back. And I'll be in Detroit in the Michigan area for 7 days, getting back here. And then I turn around a week later and I head to St. Louis for a few days. So it should be pretty good. But let me know what you think, because this doesn't happen without you guys sharing and following. A lot of cool stuff planned, especially with this new camera setup I have. It should make it very easy to get good quality content. Next thing I'm going to do is lights, I think, because I think the audio is pretty good. And I think the video should be pretty good. Next one is lights. So we'll see. You let me know what you like and dislike on these videos, and I will make sure to work towards it. And until then, everyone, I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, you guys all stay safe.